I know the struggle. I've personally spent over a year trying to figure out the perfect agency software. And after signing up and testing 7 different software, spending thousands of subscriptions, and wasting hours learning new interfaces, I'm glad to say I finally found a solution. And in this video, I'm going to show you that solution so you can save your time and thousands of dollars. We're going to be going over how I found the best solution, why it's the best solution, and how you can actually do this exact same thing I did by yourself to set up the perfect agency software for your agency. My name is Leo. I'm the CEO and founder of Fluxomate, an operations agency who specializes in setting up skill-proof systems for agencies looking to reach that next level. We've worked with agency owners all over the world, and finding a tool that our partners could actually use at scale is something that the team was struggling for just under a year. As of May 2024, I'm happy to say that we actually found that perfect solution, and that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you in this video. This is an internal tool that we're building out for all of our partners as part of our agency accelerator program. We deal with these tools literally every single day, both on the front end and the back end. So be ready to get a full solution to a massive problem in your life from a random guy on YouTube. First thing I want to do is go over how I actually found the solution. And like I said, guys, I've tested every single one of these software. You know, these prices might not be accurate because that's what I was paying at the time. I did a lot of free trials as well. But every single one of these, I spent at least a month trying it out. I even tried Smart Suite, and what I found is each one of these was limiting in its own individual way. Monday looked great, however the functionality was limiting. Trello was amazing and it was really, really good, but it was not a scalable solution. And when you got a lot of people involved, to start again very, very messy. Airtable was good, and I know a lot of people use Airtable. However, it wasn't a full solution, and I knew there was something out there that was a lot better. And guys, I just want to say a quick disclaimer: if you're happy with the software you're currently using, then this video is probably not for you. I'm not saying the software right here are impossible to make work. Not at all. If you're using something like Airtable or Monday for your operation and it's working, then good. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just a random guy on the internet. But from my experience and having talked to a lot of agency owners and work with them one-to-one, we found that these software can be limiting in their own ways, which is why I'm going to show you what I think is the perfect solution. But like I said, if you already think you have the perfect solution for your agency, then this is just my opinion. I don't want you to change everything that you're doing. So just stick to what it is. This is just what I've seen from my own experience. But anyway, so we were testing a bunch of these different software and, we limited in every single way until we did the discovery of hopping back into Notion. Now, this is actually something we literally celebrated. I was extremely happy when I thought I found this solution because honestly, I've always loved Notion. I've used this for a long time. Even back when I was in university, I was using it to take my notes and I was like, I love the company. So we celebrated, and guys, you won't believe it, but we literally even had a whole team member, brought him onto the team, and this guy was a Notion specialist to actually help us build out this Notion system for our clients. But 6 weeks later, the reality actually hit in. And after spending a lot of money and time into that Notion platform, building out certain templates for our clients, we were back to square one. And reality was with Notion was that it was not a scalable solution, which is actually what we were looking for all of our partners. That obviously was extremely sad for me because I love Notion and I still use it every single day for our content things. But I had to come back to reality. And believe it or not, I was so frustrated. I was even going down the road of developing my own software with a bunch of developers in Pakistan. And if you ever dealt with developers, then you can imagine how long and expensive that would be. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that because I realized the solution and it was in front of my eyes this entire time. And I was using no-code tools to actually build up my own internal platform. Now, this is very different to having a software engineer come and build your tool because you're using no-code tools like Bubble to build your own internal platform. Now, I don't want you to panic. I know that's probably sounds super complicated, but the reality is that it isn't. The key thing here is that we're not building apps. We're not building software. All we're doing is building internal tools, which is very, very easy to actually do. Now, guys, before I go over why this is the best solution, I want to give you an example of what this can actually look like. So I've got this case study right here. It's a case study we did for a brand called Pixelfly, which in this example is a short form content agency. And guys, there's a lot I need to go over here. I've issued on a whole 30-minute video going over exactly this specific internal tool that we set up for them. But there's a lot you can do here. And the key point I want to emphasize is that everything here is custom. The tasks that you see, the layout, the CRM, the projects, is completely custom to what you specifically need. For this example, I've got some projects. I've got all the tasks for my team, which I can filter by different team members, different projects, even different task type. If it's just scripting, filming, and this is as an admin overview. If I switch over to a team member, we'll see that all the main information goes away and this person can only see the tasks and the projects she's associated to. So if you open this up, you can see she only see the project that's relevant to her company. Same thing for the tasks. You can only see tasks that are actually assigned to her. And this is an example of a workflow that you can create using this. These are buttons. And if you press this, you get option to actually update the task, and that can set up a chain of events using automation and custom webhooks. There's a lot I can go over here, guys. Like I said, I've literally recorded a whole 30-minute video going over this exact tool. What else can I show you? Oh, another thing I actually want to show you is the client portal side of things. You can actually leverage these internal tools to create your own client portals. So you see in this example, Smith Carroll is a project. Apologies. So as you can see in this example, Smith Carroll is actually a client. And here she can see her project. So the project he has, all the tasks associated with her project, all the complete work, the assigned team members that are actually working with her. And if you go to tracker, we set up some tasks. So you can see all the tasks that actually she's been assigned to, some of the delayed tasks, when the most recent tasks are completed. And the same thing goes for my tasks. We can go over what she needs. We can go over what we need from her, which is basically a task that she has to do, what the team is actively doing, and any completed work. And once again, you're seeing these buttons here. These are for tasks that we are doing. So if she wants to update on anything that we are doing, she can just press this button and it can automatically send a message to the team to actually request that update so we can actually get in contact with her. This is obviously a very, very sample for this case study, but I can guarantee that wherever you need, it'll be very, very hard to find a software that fits every single box. Creating your own internal software does that. We can do all of these things because we set them up that way with the buttons, the tasks, even the layout of the actual system. It's completely custom. And that's the key thing I'm trying to emphasize here. If you want a much in detailed guide going over exactly how I set this up and the different functionality that we did for the software, please check out the video in the top right hand corner. It's about half an hour long. Play on 2x speed and it'll be 15 minutes to save you some time. But it's extremely valuable and it gives you an example of what one of these internal tools look like when it's actually put in action. But before I show you how you can actually do it and implement the best agency software, I want to explain why this is actually the best. And we can bring this back to fashion, one of the simplest things that everyone understands. It's the same thing as having a non-tailored suit versus a tailored suit. And if you're a girl watching this, the difference is having a fitted dress and just a normal dress you get off the shelf. Something that you get off the shelf is made for a lot of different people. So they have to compromise on a lot of different things. And that's exactly what all of these software are doing. Even though they can be specific for certain groups of people, those groups of people still have a bunch of different requirements. For example, you might have someone that has massive shoulders and massive biceps, however, they're short. So they can't wear small because then it'll be too tight, but at the same time, extra large will be too long on them. What I'm trying to emphasize here is the fact that these software, they always compromise because they're trying to solve a lot of different problems for a lot of different people. And what you get is a mixture of everything, which may or may not be applied to your specific situation. And for some people, the off-the-shelf stuff, the non-tailored stuff works amazingly. And if that's you, then go for it. I wish I was in your position. But the reality is that for some people, this baggy fit will not work. And in order to achieve a really, really scalable solution, they need to actually build it out for themselves. Go in the tailored approach, which is basically setting up an internal platform for yourself using no-code tools. Now, this is exactly built around you. Your preferences, your workflows, your staff, your processes, even your own requirements of all the different things that you need. You're not making any compromises because everything is built around you and you have all the tools to actually set up by yourself. Here you get a much better outcome. You get that tailored suit fully made for you without having to compromise on anything. And that's exactly why this is the best solution. None of these softwares right here will actually allow you to do that. And you're always going to have to compromise on something, guys, I promise you. For us, a big thing was how we tied everything to automation. That's a big thing we do here over here at Fluxomate as part of setting up skill-proof agencies. One of these software allowed me to set up my own custom webhooks to the level I needed them to. It was always me having to add extra steps, and it just got super annoying, especially with me and my team who were dealing with these platforms every single day, building them out for our clients. So for us and all of our partners, the tailored suit won. And this is why I actually think is the best solution for your agency in terms of internal tools. Now, before I go into how you can actually do this on your own, I need to give you an alert, a very important thing I need to mention. This is not for everyone. If you're looking to set up skill-proof systems, then 100% go for it. But the reality is that only applies to a certain group of people. If you're new to this, I wouldn't suggest going down this road and building your own internal tool because the reality is until you get up to about 40K with a proven process of everything you're doing, you're likely to have a lot of changes in your service delivery, your team management, your workflows, the way you go about things within your agency. There's a lot that will change in that period of time. So even though you want to get into the right mindset of setting up these skill-proof systems, it might not be the right time for you to do that right now. And there's better things to actually focus on, which is completely fine. So if you're just starting out, then I wouldn't just go down this road because It is a bit time consuming, and you're likely to have a lot of changes in everything that you're doing. So you might spend a lot of time setting this up for no reason, when in a couple of months' time you have a completely different offering. It could be completely different service delivery. I don't want you to waste your time. There's better things you have to be doing at that stage anyways. But if you're really trying to find a perfect solution to your problems and set up these really, really skill-proof systems, then pay attention, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can set this up by yourself. And it's broken down into 3 very, very simple steps. First steps, you have to choose a no-code platform. Now, guys, like I said at the start, don't be alarmed here. This is not anything that's complicated at all. It's super, super simple. And honestly, with today's tools and the templates that I have out there, anyone can do this. Key is deciding where you're going to do this. There's a bunch of no-code app platforms out there. We have Bubble, Software, Glide, even NoLocal, which is what we use. Very, very important thing that you have to remember, guys, here, you're not building a software, you're not building an app. You're building an internal application for your team. So whatever tool you choose, make sure it has the correct functionality for you to actually be able to do so. We use NoLocal just because we found that the easiest, and for everything that we want to do with the automation side of things, it integrates the best from what I've seen anyways. There might be better tools out there. Most of these tools, they all have free trials you can actually sign up to. So I recommend signing up to a couple of them, testing it out and seeing what you prefer. Once you've chosen your platform, it's actually time to go into the next step, which is actually building that database for your data. Now, these internal apps, they work around different sets of databases. Most of these no-code tools will already have their own database. And if you're an agency, the main database you'll probably need is projects, tasks, clients, meetings, resources, and employees. Now, this is the bare bone. You can add a lot more. And the key thing here is seeing how these different databases interlink. So, for example, your projects will be linked to your clients because each client will be assigned a project. But then each project will also be linked to the tasks because a project will have certain tasks. And each project may also be linked to different meetings, or each meetings will also be linked to different tasks. You have to understand the way these databases are interacting with each other. And I know it sounds like a lot of gibberish. Don't worry, guys. I promise it's not as complicated as I'm making it seem. The second step to actually doing this, once you've chosen your platform, is really, really the good understanding of what databases you'll need and all the data you'll be tracking. So you need to figure out exactly what database you want. Now, I've given you some examples above, but you obviously need to change this to what you're doing. So, for example, if you're not doing projects and you're doing monthly retainers as well, instead of tracking projects, you can track monthly retainers. Or for example, if you're running ads, instead of tracking tasks, you can track campaigns. Or if you're, content agency, instead of tracking tasks, once again, you can track videos. Or instead of meetings, if you don't have meetings with your client, you can track emails. Once again, these are all just examples, but I'm just showing you the different ways you can actually structure these databases to collect the right data, because that's what you're actually going to be using as the backbone of your application, or internal tool, I should say, sorry. So I want you to really, really think about this. Think about all the databases you're going to have, and most importantly, how these databases are going to link with each other and actually communicate. I've said this a second ago, but I'm going to give you one more example. If you have a project, that project will have clients. That project will also have tasks. Those tasks might be linked to certain meetings, and might be linked to certain employees. You can see the way everything kind of links together. And it's very, very important you have a good understanding of how that happens. I've already shown you a quick demo of what that looks like. I'm going to dive into a bit more so you can get a full understanding. I've got my database loaded up here, and here you can see a bunch of different things. A couple example projects, which are basically just companies, the tasks, which is once again just example tasks. But you can see each of these databases have their own specific fields that they're tracking. So for example, for tasks, we're tracking the task name, the manager of the task, the status of the task, the due date, the priority, the linked project, which is how these databases are actually linked. If you can see here, I can select different projects and actually link them together. The start date, any relevant video, the task type, if it's a client task, the actual script, for example, I think it's the content agency, the assigned team member, when it was created, the updated date, the link to the meeting, once again, showing you how these tasks, how these different databases are linked together. There's a lot you can do here, guys. And I'll show you one more example for employees, for example. If you open this up, you can see they have the status, the employee ID, the position, the department, their email, the start date, the address, type of employee, the manager, access rights they may have, and all of these linked databases. So the link to the projects that actually manage the projects they're handling, the link to the tasks that actually manage all the tasks they should be doing, and the link to the meetings. A cool thing about building your own internal app is that you don't have to share all the data. So for example, guys, right now I'm signing in myself, I'm an admin. So if I open up all the tasks, you'll see I can have a track of everyone's task and everyone we're doing. But if I switch over on the team member side of things, for example, I'll go to Amy Gomez, she'll only be able to see the tasks that are assigned to her. This is very, very powerful, especially if you have a very large team and you don't want to share all the information. You don't have to with every single project. You can just share the project that she is specifically assigned to, and she can see all that information there. Once again, guys, these are just examples. The perfect thing about this is that it's completely custom to what you're specifically doing. So anything you see here, you can customize to your needs. But an important thing here is actually understanding your own needs, which is why I said at the start that this is not suitable for everyone. If you're in the very early stages, you might not completely have a full understanding of what your needs are for the software that you need. But if you're at a stage where you're looking to scale and you actually want to set up those scale-proof systems, then this is what you need, because it will be the only perfect solution for you because it's fully fit around what you're doing. Once you've chosen your no-code platform and you've actually built those databases, it's time to actually start building. But guys, I will say there's thousands more steps I can go through to actually get you started on building this and doing it the right way. However, the reality of this is that most of you will have zero to no experience of actually building these no-code internal tools. So the best advice I can give you is just start building. It doesn't matter if it's the best thing straight away. Over time, you'll get used to whatever platform you choose. But the key thing is actually starting out. Now, obviously, I've got team members doing this for me. But when I first started out using these different no-code applications to build these internal tools, I would do the simplest thing. All I would have is a project database, a task database, and a client database. And the key thing here, I'll try to find a way to put that all together in a nice interface so I can see all my projects, the tasks associated with each project, and the client's specific projects. It was a start, but in no time, you're going to feel like a champion of these no-code tools and actually be able to use them within your team as the perfect agency software. Like I said, guys, if you're already using an application such as Airtable, Smart Suite, even Notion, and it's working out for you, then great. You don't have to do this. But for a lot of people, I feel like they're compromising with whatever solution they're using and just ignoring some of the massive problems that they're dealing with every single day. And this is a solution to that. And even though I didn't give you a whole entire course on how you can actually set up your no-code internal application, the key thing is you have to start somewhere. So your action plan for this video is firstly, understand if this is really what you need. If it is, then you can follow these 3 very simple steps. Choose your no-code platform. Make sure that it's well suited for internal tools because that's what you're using. You're not building a software application. Like I said before, we use no-code and it's an extremely powerful tool. Set up your databases. The key thing here is you want to plan what data you'll be tracking for each of the databases and how they're going to link with other databases. Once again, I'll give you another example. Projects can be linked to tasks. Those tasks can be linked to meetings, and those meetings can be linked to clients or employees. Same way that employees can be linked to certain projects or certain tasks. Everything is linked. You just have to find out the way it does it and the different fields you want to track for each of the databases. And once that's done, you just want to start building. Start putting these databases together in a nice interface for your team. And eventually we'll get to the point where you have something nice like this, where you can have a clear overview of your sales, a clear breakdown of everything that's happening, a clear breakdown of all your tasks, whether they're delayed, the client tasks, or your meetings that you may have, or your employees that are actually working for you. It is an incredibly useful tool. And like I showed you in the demonstration earlier, the limits are literally infinite. There's so much you can do, especially tie it in with automation. That's when the real magic starts happening. Guys, I hope this video was helpful. And like I said, I know a lot of people out there are looking for that perfect solution or the best agency software. And the truth is that it doesn't really exist because everyone has different needs. Every single agency has different set of requirements for what they need and the different things they are doing. The only way to actually achieve that best agency software or the perfect solution is to build out your own that's fit for your own specific needs. Once again, go back to the example of the tailored suit versus what you get off the shelf. The tailored suit will always win because it's completely customized to what your specific needs are. And the good news is that you don't need to hire a whole development team and have an expert come in to do this right away. You can get started literally for free. All of these tools I've said usually have either 14-day or 30-day free trial. And within that time, you can really get an understanding of this if this is something that you actually want to do. I know this video has been valuable, guys. So if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. We actually just hit 500 subscribers. So thank you so much for everyone's support. I've said this before, but honestly, I don't really do this for the subscribers and the views. The main thing is to provide you guys as much value as possible. And obviously, I'm quite selfish. I'm obviously hoping that one day you'll get to that point where you don't want to be in charge of operations anymore. And you're going to bring an expert like us to come in and build a skill-proof system in your operations. But if that's not you, don't worry. We're going to keep on releasing this value to get you started on your automation journey. So hopefully you'll get your systems together. If you want access to this, now guys, I've got an extremely cool tool for you guys today. It's a 20+ page Google document going over exactly how you can set up a scale-proof system. I go here in more detail on the example I showed you earlier for an internal platform. And honestly, it's got so much information here. It's one of the most valuable things we've put together. To get access to this, all you have to do is fill out the short form in the description. It takes about 5 minutes. And guys, I'm not just giving you a document. I'm giving you your onboarding process optimized based on your specific pain points, your client journey optimized based on your specific pain points, and I have automations with a step-by-step guide that how you can actually set them up completely based on your pain points. It's an example of automated lead magnet, which I made a whole other video about, and it's extremely valuable to get insight on how you can set up a scale-proof agency from the jump. So if you want access to that, all you have to do is check out the first link in the description. It's 100% free as with everything else that we do. And like I said, it's an extremely valuable tool. Lastly, if you want to save $100 a month with a scalable system that allows you to take on more clients that are running the service delivery of profit margins, you can check out the second link in the description to get access to our free training, go over exactly how we do that over here at Fluxomate. Building that perfect internal system is something that we also do for our clients. So if you are at this stage where you actually feel like you need this and you don't want to do it by yourself, you can watch that short video going over exactly what we do as part of our agency accelerator program. And we're cool to speak to me to see if we can actually help you out. Now, I will say, guys, this is not for everyone. So if you're not at a point yet where you need to actually optimize your operations within your agency, then I wouldn't recommend signing up just yet. But don't worry, we have so many free resources on our YouTube that we're releasing literally every single week. So if that's not you just yet, keep on consuming the content. It's there for a reason. And honestly, I'm glad I'm making a difference in some people's agencies. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about anything I said, please leave a comment. I say this a lot, but one of the benefits that you guys have at the moment is that we're quite a small channel. So if you drop a comment, we're 100% going to see it and give you an in-depth reply with everything that you need. It was a pleasure recording this video. I hope it didn't rustle any feathers. If you're happy with the current software that you have for your agency, then go for it. Everyone's scenario is different. I'm just giving my opinion on what I think is the perfect solution, because I genuinely think this is the only perfect solution. All of the different softwares are compromised over different things. But having something built out completely for your team and your specific agent requirements, in my opinion, is the only true solution to the perfect agency software that can actually scale. So please, sign up to one of these no-code platforms, try it out, and build something amazing for your team to really take your agency to the next level. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.